Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. 6.4 has been an absolute blast so far with just the collectible items that I've collected. But one of the things I wanted to focus on in this video is exactly how does the furnishing placement on Island Sanctuary work. For this, we're going to pick up a bunch of things that I've sort of collected over time, and we're going to try and put them in our Island Sanctuary and make it look pretty and show you the process along the way, just in case you're wondering how it works. So first of all, obviously, the first thing to note is that housing is not related to Island Sanctuary. Anything stored, for example, in your private or your public estates for your free company, this stuff is not accessible in your Island Sanctuary. So if you want to place any of these items that are in storage or whatever, you will actually have to physically take them out and put them into your inventory and take them to your Island Sanctuary first. That's the first thing to note. So let's go over to Island Sanctuary after I've picked out a few of these things behind the scenes. Alright, here we are. It is nighttime in the game, but that's really quite useful because I want to demonstrate the placeable area. So we're actually on the roof of the hideaway main building here, and this is the hideaway. I wanted to demonstrate how this works. So as you can see over here on this side of the screen, you've got your index. This new button is the Manage Furnishing button. You don't have to go into the housing menu or anything like that. That does not have anything to do with anything. It is all entirely in the Manage Furnishing section. So if we click that, we can go Place, Color, and Preview. So what you can do, if you press Preview, you can actually preview items like you can in the Housing Preview menu. And this also demonstrates the placement area. So you can't place things up there near your animals. You can't place things on the beach at the moment, and you can't place things on the other stages. It is simply this starting area outlined in blue. So bear that in mind. And of course, your buildings take up slots that you cannot place items in either. You might be able to glitch things in there. I have no idea. I have not tried yet. But on the Furnishing Preview menu, you can obviously preview things. If I was actually on ground level, of course. But I thought it was nice to do it at night time because you can definitely see the outline and you can preview items and see what they look like. I have an inventory full of items to look at, so let's mess around a bit. For this demonstration then, let's first show you how you actually place and establish items. So I do have an inventory full of stuff here. I just thought, I don't know, let's pick up 1 or 2 items that I want to try out, 1 or 2,000. Let's go to place furnishing items. So what we do is we've got a menu over here. We've got the registered glamours, and we've also got the placed glamours section. As you can see, there's a toggle, right? So no furnishing glamours have been registered and no have been placed. So we can register a glamour first. And the way we register things is, let's say we wanted to do the Orthos display stand, which is obviously from Eureka Orthos. I'm very proud about that. We would plop that down. All right, and it says place the selected item as a glamour. The selected furnishing item will be bound to you and remain in your inventory. So we tick the box, register to glamour list. We press yes, and then we would need island prisms. Okay. So like me, you're probably going, where are island prisms from? Well, you can craft them with your crafters. I only have access to the Weaver recipe here because my Weaver's the only one high enough. It's a 2-star level 90 recipe, and you can create 3 prisms per craft using 2 clear prisms and 3 Almasty Surge in this case. So obviously you might be wondering, well, where does Almasty Surge come from? It's actually a crafted item. And if you have a look at that, it comes from Almasty Fur. Now, Almasties are actual creatures that you can find in Garlemald. There are other locations around the world, but Garlemald is a place that instantly comes up when you look on the lodestone. Alternatively, you can also buy them 2 bicolor gemstones in Old Sharlayan, Radzat-Han, or Garlemald itself at the bicolor gemstone vendor. 2 gemstones get you some of these. I think you get a couple of these per Almasty Fur, or it might be individually. I haven't checked. So either way, you're going to be wanting to look at the price of the fur, the surge, etc. So the surge at the moment on my server is 5,900 gil per item, per unit. So obviously we would need 4 of those. The actual prisms themselves, let's see, Island Prism currently is 109,000 gil for 10. So yeah, that works out at 10,900 a piece, which I suppose isn't too bad considering if they actually sell at that, which they of course are, because people want to try out their glamour stuff. Of course, there are other ways of crafting these, not just Weaver, like I say, but yes, killing monsters, etc., bicolor gemstones, that's the only way to get them, as far as I can tell, unless there is a way of crafting them at the actual island sanctuary that I have not seen yet or unlocked. So very briefly then, considering I don't have a lot of time today, and this is obviously the first time I've done this, I've basically put together something fairly understandable, fairly basic. Those gates should probably open inwards. We've got some stepping stones. I put a little fountain here and some lanterns. And then we put the stagecoach thing that was added. I've put my Eureka Orthos thing near the door there. I'm experimenting with some different tiles and things. But look at how you can populate this place. Now, I've not done a very good job, and obviously working with only 75. This is one of the new items, by the way. I'm kind of toying with the idea of using it. It's a gravel path that you can place down that's dyeable. I dyed it green to see what it looked like. It looks pretty awful. I need to work on that. But I've created this wall that goes around, this low wall, and used the fortification ruins. We've got banana tree, we've got a tool shed, and then around here I've put like a nice seating area with the otter bench there, a lemonade stand. It's just so cool to be able to put stuff like this out here. I've got a little section over here with a tree house and some trees, a little seating area, a place for them to dry their washing. This log, which I'll probably move around, basically just sort of in the process of placing things down. Obviously I wanted one of those spas, and the biggest one we can get is this one, the Ishgardian style one. And then I toyed with the idea of creating this nice walkway, because we've got all these stalls in the game. Now I'm not necessarily sure if we can place retainer type characters in this. I don't think we can, but it's still going to look really lovely to have these stalls. I was thinking about putting like a pathway in the middle of them. Then over here I've got my Namazu effigy, another lantern, some stuff, a seating area and a tent. Again, I've had like maybe 10 minutes with this, give or take. Nice little veranda. Maybe put some other gates here, things like that. Play around with petals and things. But really, the customization limitations are your own imagination, and there are going to be people who absolutely make the most out of this, unlike me, of course. My creative instincts are kind of ended at this point. But yeah, what we really need is a lot more outdoors housing items, and like I said earlier, the best solution to that would be evidently to create outdoors items from some of the indoors items that we have access to. But already with like a little bit of work, like a tiny little bit of work, we've made this place look a little bit more inhabited rather than this place being completely vacant. I can't wait to see what people come up with personally. Now, we are actually at this point at the maximum placement slots, but again, as you've seen, there's a few weird things placed down. We're at 75, so I'm looking forward to unlocking the 90 slots through the course of leveling this place up. But yeah, very exciting stuff. But that's not all I did. Welcome to Namazu Park.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think of that.
They do move in herds.
I've actually just realized I've got to take these out one by one, like I placed them one by one, because it turns out there isn't actually a function to take all of these things out all at once, so you have to do them individually. This could take some time, holy moly. And if we can get up to 90, I guess I could fit some down the side. Oh boy. See you next time.